Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Erosium, and in this video we're going to be discussing some of the things that I want to happen in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So some changes. There are just mainly 5 changes here, but there are a whole bunch of changes that I would like and some I haven't included in this video. In this video I just want to include the main changes that I personally want to have from the game, and that's just based on my experience of playing this game from, the very start up until now, with very minor breaks in between. Now, first as first for me, a PvP. I used to play PvP like crazy. I really did. I used to play a lot of PvP, and about 25 hours a week, I would say. I would just grind out battlegrounds, and it wasn't even a grind, it was fun. I loved it. And the reason I loved it is I was always working towards that next piece of gear. And I realised, I was basically just sat there, in Boreas Harbour Tavern, just having a pint. And I thought, why do I not play PvP anymore? And the harbour guard said to me, you know what, Rosium? It's because you've got nothing to work towards. Yeah, you've got the honour system, where you can get a couple pieces of gear here and there, or you can get a mount and all that shenanigans. That's great, that's cool, but it's not really like something to work towards and, oh, I've got 7 more battlegrounds potentially until I can get my helmet, or, oh, I need 400 more honour to get that. It was something that I could actually physically work towards, and I was so excited running up to the vendor and just buying that piece of gear and be like, yes, I have equipped myself with this, and it was definitely worth the 20 hours I put into getting it. And the best bit was when I was fully geared from all of that honor grinding, I was able to go into arena and I was able to compete. However, at the moment, that's not the case. Unfortunately, at the moment, you kind of have to do PvE to do PvP. And that feels weird. I'm not into raiding. I'm not into doing mythic dungeons. Those aren't my cup of tea. They aren't my interests at the moment. And I see no reason why I should have to farm high-end gear from player versus environment in order to do player versus player. It just seems really convoluted and frankly a bit silly. There's nothing wrong with a player versus environment person coming into PvP, but by no means should they have more of an advantage over someone who would prefer to spend their time just doing PvP. That doesn't make sense to me, and I think that there should be more of a reward for PvP players specifically, so something that they can physically work towards, maybe a vendor who sells gear specific to classes, and then another one who does it for arenas as well. So, and that's something I used to really enjoy is working the battlegrounds to get my honor gear, and then going over into the arena and trying to earn my arena gear as well. That was so good, and I used to spend so much time playing with, priests, druids, like loads of different people. I still have them on my friends list, and I still talk to them. It's just such a shame that it's not of that much interest to me anymore, and I wish it was, because I do try and play it. I just get so bored because there's just a lack of needs there. And I used to really enjoy just being able to go up to people and, stun lock them until they're dead. That was one of my favourite things. But moving on swiftly, guys, I know some people won't agree with it because, they like to play PvE, and when they go into a battleground, they want to feel like that they can contribute. And I feel like you guys should be able to contribute. What I'm referring to is the kind of high-end stages of PvP. I don't think that player versus environment players should be able to go in at high-end stages of PvP and be able to compete with people who are playing just PvP. That would be like me playing just PvP and then coming in and saying, well, no, I should have that raid spot because I do loads of PvP. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't equate. So I think that's a change that really would be suitable to Shadowlands, and I think it would encourage a lot more players to do PvP. Professions. So professions are really fun at the moment, but I kind of feel a little bit like they are lacking in something, and I think that they're lacking in the immersive content that Legion had. And something I really enjoyed about Legion was just how immersive all the quest lines were, the world quests, just getting involved, trying to learn new things. I used to love that. Oh, gosh, it was so fun to have to like get to level 110 and then have to go and learn my professions and do all my quests for professions. It gave me something really to work towards, something meaningful, something immersive. And yeah, they have a little bit of that in BFA, but it's just not on the same level at all. And I think it would be really interesting if they added more of that into Shadowlands. So something where, you went on a journey to discover something new that had never been discovered for that profession, and I think that would be so creative. I also think that there should be a lot more world quests in regard to professions. At the moment, it feels like if you have one profession and you just change into another profession, to learn those additional ranks to that profession takes forever, and that should not be the case. You shouldn't be able to do it in a day, don't get me wrong, but over a month's period, maybe, like, you should be able to learn all of the ranks. And in all honesty, I don't like the fact that you have to farm reputation in order to kind of learn additional ranks to professions. I think that should be just something that you gain from crafting certain things or doing certain quest lines. That should be immersive content. It shouldn't be a grind just to get there. I don't think that World of Warcraft is a good game for just grinding like things. It becomes really boring, and that's when people stop subscribing and stop staying and playing the game, when it becomes too repetitive with no changing circumstance. So that's something I really think that would be nice in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Now, I have heard there is something called Torghast, and it does look really, really bloody exciting. I can't wait to give that a go. And just bouncing off that, I wanted to say something I really want from World of Warcraft Shadowlands is daily content. That's not just world quests or, daily quests that are just meaningless. I want something that I can work towards. Some of the things I used to love doing in previous expansions was going to something like, I don't know, things like even the Argent Tourney, anything where I was able to feel like I was in a different zone and I was working towards being a part of something bigger than myself. That is something I loved doing, and I didn't really feel like they were daily quests. I felt like I was really involved in that type of stuff. At the moment, when I log on, I'm just like, what reputation do I need to get on this character? I gotta do 4 or 5 world quests. Okay, cool, I'll do those and I'll just log off. That's boring, dude. That's boring. I don't want to be doing that. That's just not immersive, not fun at all. That's not why I started to play World of Warcraft, and that's not what will keep me. I want something more immersive, more interesting to do on a daily basis. Going to this new area and doing daily quests, they're alright. Like, for example, Argus in Legion. I really enjoyed those. They did get grindy at some times, but what made it less grindy was things like the mounts. You had quite a high chance of getting mounts from a lot of the things. You had allied races that you could gain from doing those world quests. There was a lot of story behind those quests as well, which made it even more interesting. And that was very immersive for me personally, and everyone I kind of know who's done that really enjoyed it. And I still know loads of people who still do that today, because it is quite a fun zone. And there is lots of other little zones like that spread across World of Warcraft. In BFA, I do feel like they have lacked that. Yeah, they've got Nazjatar, and Nazjatar was pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed doing the immersive content to start that off. But once I've done that, I don't really care anymore. I kind of just like, oh, cool. Well, that's Nazjatar. See you later. I'm never coming back here again. I'm just a bit like, okay. So that's all the immersive content. Would be cool if, there was maybe something where there was immersive content, and then, you had to do a bunch of world quests, and say when you reach the next level of reputation or next level whatever it is, it gave you the next stage of the immersive content. That would be cool. And maybe it didn't require you to go into a dungeon or like a raid. It was just something that you could physically work towards and put effort in. That would be satisfying, and it would make it so you want to come back to Nazjatar, so you can learn more about the story, so you can feel like you're more part of that kind of uprising and getting better. Okay, so another thing that I've kind of thought about, and I'm not really too sure how this will come across, but what are the point to battle pets? You know, what's the relevance to them in the game? Because they just look like Pokemons, and I've played with the battle pets a few times just to get things like reputation, and they are actually really enjoyable. I'm just wondering, what's the point? Like, maybe Blizzard should create more of a streamlined quest line to get you involved in battle pets from the start of the game, you know, from level 1. Or even maybe level 6 when you're running out of, you know, your first starting zone and you're running down the path to like Goldshire or wherever you're going. Maybe there should be a quest along those lines where you can pick up battle pets and you can start the battle pets as well. Because unless you kind of go to a main city and just learn about them, you don't really know what they are. And I think it'd be so cool if you could just learn about them from the very start and have a kind of a battle pet battle to do at every like kind of town you come across. I think that would be so creative and such a good way of involving those in the game more. I also think that they could make it definitely more immersive. They could make a quest line specifically for people that like to do battle pets, and they could create it so you actually have to go on a journey to actually get certain battle pets or train your battle pets in certain abilities. You know, they could definitely expand on that stuff to make it more immersive, more interesting for people who are interested in that stuff. The leveling experience. Okay, so I think the majority of people can agree leveling new characters in World of Warcraft has become a bit of a joke. It's just grind. It's like, let's do the starting zone, alright? Get to level 15 as quickly as possible. Alright, let's just join looking for group as quickly as it can. Okay, I'm just going to chill in a major city, run around, probably might get a haircut. I might just dance with some people. I don't know, ask for gold. I might duel some people whilst I'm waiting. You know, just random stuff. You know, you're doing really nothing in the game that has any relevance because you're bored out your mind waiting for a group to basically get a load of experience from looking for group. There's nothing wrong with looking for group, but there's no real point to play the game at the moment, and World of Warcraft was designed to be a multiplayer social game. And when I started World of Warcraft, I had 6 IRL friends who I played World of Warcraft with, and I had so many friends that I encouraged to play World of Warcraft, and I got them into the game because I started a character with them, and from that start we played together, we loved it. But now the game's so big that when a new person wants to join World of Warcraft, they're kind of like, what do I do? Even my fiance, I said, oh, will you start a character in World of Warcraft? I think you'd really like it. And she was just like, yeah, but there's just so much in the game, and I feel like I don't know what I'll be doing. There's just too much to learn. And you know, I thought she was damn right. There is a lot to learn in World of Warcraft. And it would be great if there was like more of a streamlined experience for players starting off, you know, to learn the game, but also not feel like the pressures they have to learn 101 things. Now, how they do this, I don't know. But I do think that maybe having a starting zone where everyone can kind of start together in whatever race they want, if they so choose, would be kind of a good idea. Not saying take away their racial starting zones, definitely give them those racial starting zones, but also maybe just have a training area, which is almost like a new starting zone, where the general alliance characters can start together. And that way, when you're starting a new character with new friends who are brand new to World of Warcraft, you could be there immediately, ready to help. You don't have to run from Darnassus to Elwood Forest or things like that. It makes it a lot quicker, a lot nicer, and you can be there to guide your friends. I think if World of Warcraft can find a way to add more value to those brand new players, give them something of immediate interest to get them involved in the game, they will find that a huge surge of brand new players will get interested in this game. It's not just about raiding, unfortunately. World of Warcraft is not just a raiding game, okay? It's not just, you know, an arena game. There is so much to this game, and I think Blizzard needs to look at where their values lie and capitalize on them hugely, because if they do, they can find a huge amount of new players interested in playing World of Warcraft, exploring the fantastic worlds out there, and getting involved in the great game that we all know and love. So there we have it. They are the main things that I would love to see from World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Now obviously there are other things that I would be really interested in having in Shadowlands that I haven't mentioned in this video, but that is for a good reason. I kind of want to wait and see what there is, and I want to hear from you guys. What do you want from World of Warcraft Shadowlands? I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on that, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, smash that like button, give that subscribe button a little tickle, and I will see you in a future video. This is Erosium, out.